أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا. اللهم زدنا علما إنك أنت عليم حكيم. اللهم اجعل هذه كلمة حجة لنا لا حجة علينا يا رب العالمين. أما بعد, in continuation of our the last class that we had, what were we talking about? Does anyone know? The last 10 nights? No. Huh? Sabr. No. I mean, we were, but it was a story. We mentioned a hadith about a story, but we didn't finish the hadith. The boy. What was the last thing we learned about the boy? Who paid attention? Because the thing is, I'm tired. I want y'all to start talking. Huh? What was the hadith about? You laughing? You don't remember?
No, I got it. I'm trying to. Boy the king.
Huh?
Boy the king.
The boy, the king. What happened to him?
The king kept taking him to took him out in the water.
Why? What happened? Like, give me the story so you can tell somebody else. What's the story? What happened? Was you here? Oh, you weren't here. Who was here? What was the story about? What happened to the boy? He was real tall?
He didn't get no height.
We didn't get height. Good. Huh?
He was learning with the teacher.
He was learning what? He was learning how to drive a car?
No, magician.
He was learning magic.
King, it was a king.
There was a king. Oh, there was a king, and what else?
Yeah, I remember.
All right, go ahead. What was it?
He was learning math. He told the person that teaching him Arabic.
Arabic?
Teaching him Islam.
Okay, the person I'm teaching them Islam, Tawheed.
If you ever get caught up,
Don't mention it.
don't mention him. And then
Good.
we got to the part where he mentioned him.
Good. So then what happened to him? So he sliced it in half, right? Who got sliced in half? The bread?
The one teacher in
The
Arabic.
teacher that was
What did
teaching
the
me
teacher
Tawheed.
The monk. All right, just a quick rehash. All right? There was a boy. There was a magician, right? So he went to the king and said, give me a boy that I can teach him the magic that I have because he's getting old. So they found a little boy. The boy, he also ran into they call him an abid, a worshiper, right? Maybe you translate the monk, but in Arabic they call him an abid, one who worships Allah, right? A worshiper, right? So with this worshiper, when he would go to the magician every day to learn, he would also stop off at the worshipers, right? And he did that for some time. That's just a quick rehash, right? Then, all of a sudden, there was a big animal that came into town and the people were afraid. So the boy picked up a rock and said, if what I'm learning from the worshiper is better than what I'm learning from the magician, then this rock killed this animal. And so he threw the rock and the rock killed the animal. After that, people started to believe in the boy. So the people, and that he started, it was said that he was curing people that were blind and deaf, etc. And so what happened, when the people would come to him, they would ask him to cure them. And he said, I can't cure people, only Allah can cure people. So if you believe in Allah, then I will make dua for you, that Allah will cure you of your condition. And so the people started to do that. And then word got back to the king. And the king has a friend. And his friend was blind. And so the king's friend gathered up all these gifts to give to the boy and said, listen, I need you to cure me. So the boy said, I can't cure you. You have to believe in Allah. And so the friend of the king, he said, okay, I believe in Allah. And so the boy made dua for him, that Allah brings back his vision. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala returned to him his vision. When his vision was returned to him, he went back to see the king. And the king said to him, Man radda alayka basarak. who returns your vision back to you? How come you can see now? And he said, Rabbi. He said, my Lord gave me back my vision. And so the king said, Alaka Rabbul Ghayri? He said, you telling me you have another Lord besides me? And so the man, he said, rather who are Rabbi wa Rabbuk. He said, rather he is my Lord and your Lord. And so he began to beat his friend, harm him, until he sent them over to who the boy was. And the same thing happened. He went to the boy, questioned him. The boy steadfast in his belief. And he beat the boy until the boy gave up the worshiper. And when he went to the worshiper, he asked him the same thing. The worshiper wouldn't leave off his belief. So what did he do? He pulled out a saw. A saw. Saws are used for what? Wood. So he used a saw in the middle of his head and cut his whole body in half. And it mentions that it fell into two sides. And then he went back to his friend. And he told his friend, leave off your religion, what you believe, and come back to this. And what did his friend do? No. He stayed the course. And when he stayed the course, the king, he pulled out what? A saw and cut his body in half. Kadalik. The next one was who? The boy. What did he do to the boy? He took him to the mountain. And what did he want to do to him on the mountain? What? Punch him? Throw him off. He wanted to throw him off the mountain. And what happened to the mountain? The mountain shook. Everyone died except for the boy. Now pay attention to this. It would have been easy for the boy to just run away after that. So he could have just ran away and said, I'm free. Right? But what did he do? He went back to the king. When he went back to the king, what happened?
With the guy on the boat.
Huh?
And the next thing he
What
said,
happened?
sent him out in the ocean.
Good. The king sent the boy out in the ocean. Sent them out to the ocean. Why did he send them in a boat, in a fishing boat out in the ocean? For what purpose? They said, Tawassat al-Bahr, in the middle of the water. Why? To throw him in. But what happened to the boat? It turned over in qalaba. Meaning the boat flipped over, everybody died and drowned except for who? The boy. But remember, one thing we left out. Before that happened, the boy made dua. He said, Allahumma kfini. He said, Allah suffice me. So Allah saved them on the mountain, and Allah saved them in the sea. So we're going to continue with the hadith. It says, فَجَاءَ يَمْشِي إِلَى الْمَلَكِ فَقَالَ لَهُ الْمَلَكِ مَا فُعِلَ بِأَصْحَابِكِ. So now, after the boy was saved from the water, and he went back to the king said to him, مَا فُعِلَ بِأَصْحَابِكِ. What did you do with those people that were with you? فَقَالَ كَفَانِيهِمُ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى. He said, Allah spared me from them. فَقَالَ لِمَلَكِ إِنَّكَ لَسْتَ بِقَاتِلِي حَتَّى تَفْعَلَ مَا آمُرُكَ بِهِ. Alright. So now the boy said, listen, basically you can't kill me. The boy said, what? You can't kill me. Unless you do what I tell you to do. He told the boy, or the boy told the king, you can't get rid of me. You can't harm me, you can't destroy me, you can't kill me unless you do what I tell you to do. قَالَ وَمَا هُوَ. So the king said, well, what is it then? What do I have to do to kill you? قَالَ تَجْمَعُ النَّاسَ فِي صَعِيدٍ وَاحِدٍ. So the first thing he said was, gather up all the people in the town and tell them all to come in one place. Gather all the people in town and tell them to come to one place. وَتَصْلِبُنِي عَلَى جِذْعٍ. And he said, tie me up to a tree or a cross. Tie me up to that. ثُمَّ خُذْ سَهْمَ مِنْ كِنَانَتِي. And then he said, take an arrow, take one of my arrows that he had with him. Right? ثُمَّ دَعْ سَهْمَ فِي كَبِدِ الْقَوْسِ. And he said, take the arrow and put it in a bow. Take the arrow and put it in a bow. ثم قال بسم الله رب الغلام ثم ارميني فإنك إذا فعلت ذلك قتلتني. He said, then when you have everybody in town together and you tie me up to that tree and you pull out an arrow and you have to say Bismillah, the Lord of the boy, and strike me with the arrow, and that's how you can kill me. So, what do you think the king did? Huh? He did everything he told him to do. It says, فَجَمَعَ النَّاسِ فِي صَعِيدٍ وَاحِدٍ. The first thing he said was gather all the people in the town in one place. And so he did that. Now, before we continue this, why was the king upset? Huh? He couldn't kill him, but why did he want to kill him to begin with?
Because he worshipped
Huh? Because the people didn't worship him. What did the king want? He wanted more money? He wanted people to worship him. He was a taghut. He wanted people to worship him. He thought he was their God. He wanted to be worshipped besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the boy refused to worship him, and the people that were around him learned to worship Allah alone. And the king hated it. So he wanted to kill the boy. So the boy said, the only way you can kill me is if you do what? You gather all the people in the town together. Fi sa'idan wahidan. Then you tie me up on a cross. And then you, huh? Or a tree. And then you pull the bow back and you strike me with the bow and you say, with the arrow, and you say in the name of the Lord of the boy. Because everybody in the town knew that what? What did people in the town know? That the king, what wasn't the king able to do? He wasn't able to kill him. Pay attention to this. The king wasn't able to kill the boy. Everybody knew this. Everyone. So the king listened to the advice. فَجَمَعَ النَّاسَ فِي صَعِيدٍ وَاحِدٍ. So he gathered all the people in one place. وَصَلَبَهُ عَلَى الْجَذْعِ. And he tied him onto the trunk of the tree trunk. ثُمَّ أَخَذَ سَحْمًا مِنْ كَنَانَتِهِ. Then he took one of his arrows out. ثُمَّ وَضَعَ السَّحْمَ فِي كَبِدِ الْقَوْسِ. And he took the arrow and put it in the bow. ثُمَّ قَالَ. And then after that he said, بِسْمِ رَبِّ الْغُلَامِ. In the name of the Lord of the boy. ثُمَّ رَمَاهُ. And then he struck the arrow. فَوُقَعَ السَّحْمُ فِي صُدْغِهِ. And then the arrow went right in the middle of his head. فَوَضَعَ يَدَهُ فِي صُدْغِهِ فَمَاتَ. And they said once he hit him in the head, he put his hands up to his head to feel the arrow, and then he died. After it struck him, he put his hands up and grabbed it, and then he died. What do you think happened after that? The whole city, everybody is watching. What do you think happened after that? It says, فَقَالَ النَّاسُ. All the people in the town, not only the boy, every single person in the town said, آمَنَّا بِرَبِّ الْغُلَامِ. Every single person in the town said, we believe in the Lord of the boy. In the beginning, it was just the boy, right? He was mad. Now the whole town believed in Allah. Yes.
The boy is the teacher.
The boy is the teacher?
The one that teaches the boy. That's what he's, the one that was teaching the boy.
What about the one that was teaching the boy?
You said, in the beginning, only one believed in the Lord. The whole
Yes.
town was just the boy.
It's just the boy and his teacher. Now it's everyone. The whole town believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَأُوتِيَ الْمَلَكُ فَقِيلَ لَهُ أَرَأَيْتَ مَا كُنْتَ تَحْذَرُ. And so they came to the king, and he said, look at what you used to warn against. Now look what happened. فَقَالَ قَدْ وَاللَّهِ نَزَلَ بِكَ حَذْرُكَ. He says, by Allah, what you did not want to happen, happened. قَدْ آمَنَ النَّاسِ. He said, all of the people believed. فَأَمَرَ بِالْأُخْدُودِ. And so he commanded the people to build a ditch. Ukhdud, Ashabul Ukhdud, right? He commanded the people to build a ditch. بأفواه سكك فخدت وأدرم فيها نيران. And they built this ditch, and they wanted to make it deep enough, and you could fill the ditch with fire. قال من لم يرجع عن دينه فأقحموه فيها. Whoever does not leave off that religion, they will be thrown into the fire. أو قيل له اقتحم ففعلوا حتى جاء امرأة ومعها سبي لها فتقاعست and تقع فيها. So once they built that fire and they were throwing people in it, there was a woman. A woman, she came with her child and she was afraid. She had some hesitance. She was hesitant to throw herself, to jump, or to be thrown into the fire. Right? فَقَالَ لَهَا الْغُلَامِ. And so her child that was with her, an infant baby that was with her, said, يَا أُمَّهَا اصْبِرِي فَإِنَّكِ عَلَى الْحَقِّ. He said, Mommy, be patient, for indeed you're upon the truth. So here in this hadith, here we're talking about what? A sabr. Here, in this part of the hadith, the baby told his mother to have patience. To have patience. But this hadith is a tremendous hadith. It contains in it a number of benefits. However, we're just going to read some of the benefits of this hadith, and then we're going to take some time before it's time to break fast. As we know that today is Yawm al-Jum'ah, and between Maghrib and between Asr and Maghrib is a time. What is that time? Anyone know? We said this last week. What is it? Okay. Dua. All right. What about dua during this time between Asr and Maghrib? Does anybody know? Okay. Ya Akhwan, it's very important. What's the time between Asr and Maghrib on Yawm al-Jum'ah? What happens? Sheikh, علمنا ها? Nawafil?
No. Dua.
Dua. What about dua? Huh? The answer. Okay, is there when?
It's an hour in between.
Ahsant. There's an hour between between Asr and Maghrib on Yawm al-Jum'ah. There's 1 hour, there's a time when you make dua in that time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will what? Answer that dua. So before Maghrib comes in, perhaps it's the last part, before Salatul Maghrib, we want to give brothers and sisters an opportunity to make some dua during that time, inshallah. Especially while everyone's fasting as well. But in any event, this hadith, it says a lot. And for one of the benefits is that one of the, as they say, the mu'jiza, the miracles, is that there was a child, an infant that spoke while they were an infant. Do we have any other history in Islam that there was an infant that spoke? Huh? The Prophet Isa alayhi salam. The Prophet Isa spoke in his cradle. Right? Like, why did he speak? Was there a need for him to speak? Huh? Why did he speak? What was the reason?
To tell the people who he was.
So,
To safeguard his mother.
to safeguard his mother. So as we find, during the time of Maryam, she says, Ya Maryam, laqad jiti shay'an fariya. And so to Maryam, the people came to Maryam when they found out that she was pregnant with Isa alayhi salam. The people said to her, what did you do? How did you get pregnant? Right? Yani shay'un adeem. This is a tremendous affair that she fornicated. They thought that she what? Fornicated. Right? And they said to her, Ya ukhta Haruna, ma kana abuki amran su'in wa ma kanat ummuki baghiya. They said that, and notice how staying away from fornication is a big thing in Islam. Right? So much so, when we look at this ayah, it says, Ya ukhta Harun. The first thing it said, oh brother of Harun. It mentioned her brother. You have a brother named Harun, right? وَمَا كَانَ أَبُوكَ. And your father was not an evil man, and your mother was not known to be a prostitute. So how did you come with something like this? Meaning, how did you become pregnant and you're not known to be married? First thing it went back, they mentioned her family. You come from a noble family. This is not something known for people that come from noble families. And so for that reason, she pointed to the baby. She says, they said, كَيْفَ نُكَلِّمُ مَنْ كَانَ فِي الْمَهْدِ صَبِيًّا. How can we talk to a child and the child can't talk to us? And so this is when the Prophet Isa alayhi salam, he spoke from the cradle. قَالَ إِنِّي عَبْدُ اللَّهِ. He says, for indeed, I am the slave of Allah. قَالَ إِنِّي عَبْدُ اللَّهِ أَتَانِيَ الْكِتَابَ وَجَعَلَنِي نَبِيًّا. He said, I was given a book and I was made to be a prophet. وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا عِينَمَا كُنْتُ وَأَوْصَانِي بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ مَا دُمْتُ حَيًّا. And he said that I was made honorable anywhere that I am. And I was advised and commanded with the prayer and paying the zakat, مَا دُمْتُ حَيًّا, as long as I live. So the Prophet Isa said, I was commanded to establish the prayer and pay the zakat as long as I live. وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي, and be honorable to my parent, my mother. وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا. وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَى يَوْمٍ وَلِدْتُ وَيَوْمَ أَمُوتُ وَيَوْمَ أُبْعَثُ حَيًّا. And he said that, and there will be peace on me until the day that from the day that I was born, and from the day that I died, and from the day that I will be resurrected living. The day that I will be resurrected living. The ulama of Islam said this is the only time mentioned in history that, this is the first time mentioned where someone spoke from the cradle, a child. And it took a tremendous incident to happen that his mother became pregnant. People didn't know how, and so the child spoke. Likewise, in the case here, where the mother was getting ready to be thrown in the fire, and she became scared, and the baby spoke out and said, Mom, be patient, you're upon the truth. When that happened, when those children, meaning the child, spoke, it gave the mother comfort. But when the Prophet Isa alayhi salam spoke, it gave the people comfort and satisfaction.